What's up? It's your girl. It's 1 a.m. somewhere, also known as 1 a.m. I am sitting here with my friend Metazul.
What's good?
We're gonna do a cool Q&A for you guys, and just want to check how you guys are feeling. Everybody's feeling all right? Okay.
Sounds good.
Let's just jump into it, yeah?
Yeah, let's jump into it.
All right. So, can you walk us through your musical journey?
Yeah, to keep it not too long and lengthy, I'll give you a short run through. I started really getting into music when I was about 9. Started listening to hip hop. I think one of the first songs I remember hearing in the car was like Biggie Smalls. I remember like hearing the lyrics before I even know who anyone was, like Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me, you know? And then I got really into the whole like Eminem, Snoop Dogg, Dre, that whole camp, and then it kind of evolved from there. I started writing rhymes at that age. And then I had a kind of a shift in my life where I moved to California, and that's when I started listening to completely different genres of music, like classical rock and more acoustic beach kind of vibes, and I started playing guitar. When I went to college, I was in a rap duo called Trip Red and Blue, and we had some like amateur recordings of some songs. But it was crazy for me at the time. I didn't know how easy you could actually just record it, so I had a lot of fun doing that at that time, even though a lot of the tracks were never released. And then it wasn't until maybe 2016, 17 where I started seriously putting things together again on my own, and took a journey in Asia, recorded a bunch of music. I became Metazul, released a couple of albums, and here we are, long story short.
Nice. And where are you originally from?
Originally, I'm from Boston, East Coast, Southie.
There you go. That's what's up. So, sounds like a long, a long journey for sure. How do you find time for music while living such a busy life?
You know, sometimes it's very, very difficult, but I always make sure, like, no matter how tired I am, I'll go into like the home studio and I'll always do it no matter what. Like, there's times where I'm working like 2-3 jobs or putting in like 50 hours a week, but I still, like, that's my passion. So, I mean, if you discover your passion, or once you discover your passion, you got to follow through, and you'll find a way to do it even if you are tired.
Definitely. You always find the energy, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You know.
I know. So who is your favorite artist, and how have they influenced your music?
I want to bring up 3 artists that influenced me, my top 3, not in any order. And I want to bring up Eminem, Rakim, and Residente.
Nice.
They all came at different times in my life. Eminem I started listening to when I was hella young, like 8-9 years old.
Yep.
And that was just some crazy, I never heard anything like it, you know. I like threw in the Slim Shady LP and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, I didn't know like much about hip hop at all at the time. I had just listened to that. I didn't even know like different genres of music. But then I continued following it, and I just really liked that aggressive and storytelling and the rhymes and the word plays, and just super clever and super well thought out and detailed. Then Rakim, I found out actually later, even though he's OG, right? But he's before my era. But I just think his flow is so smooth and so dope. Like it was a lot different than like Eminem, right? Which I was listening to at first. So that contrast I really, really liked. And then once I started listening to like Spanish music and music from Latin America, I discovered Calle 13, and I listened to Calle 13, which is the group of Residente, Visitante, and Ile. They're all really talented, the producer, the singer, and the rapper. They won a bunch of Grammys. It's very poetic, there's all kinds of different concepts they'll do. Like from love to hate to aggressive to political, like they can do anything, which is super dope. And then Residente did now he's a solo act at the time, right now, and he did the whole, I'm going to travel through all these countries and record music, which pushed me to do the same because I've traveled before, but I never recorded at the same time. So that was kind of the catalyst to my Asia journey, where I recorded my first project, Project Mayhem.
Yeah, I remember that. And then I was asking you about the album cover because I was like, where are you?
Yeah, that's in southern Chile, Torres del Paine.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Really dope.
Yeah, I can relate with that, with Eminem being one of my top, and then also Rakim is one of Eminem's top. So it's kind of a cool little chain. So you kind of answered it in a way, but what made you choose to create rap music other than any other genre?
It just appeals to me more in a way. I've always liked the cadences, the fast flow, the different rhymes. But I don't have a great singing voice either, so it's hard to do other stuff. Not that it's easy to rap, but I've just always liked it since I was a kid. Even as I learned different genres of music, rap was always my top, even if I started listening to some other stuff on the side.
Okay.
So my loyalty stayed true.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hip hop till you die?
Hell yeah.
Okay, jumping into the next question, is there any music that you were drawn to at a young age that was censored for you? Is that what?
Yes.
Censored?
So, as I was saying, I listened to a lot of like Eminem, especially at a young age. And basically when I was 12, my father had gotten custody of me. So I had moved to California after like a 3-year like court, bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So they kind of sent me over to California, and he was like anti-rap completely, right? And he even used it like against my mother in court, like the fact that I'm like listening to Eminem. So Eminem, if you're listening. But so when I got there, it was actually, they told me like, you can't be listening to that. Like they took it away or whatever, right? But luckily, I had a sister who was pretty cool, and I had actually the Marshall Mathers LP and the Slim Shady LP and the Eminem show, but they were burned, so they're on a regular CD, not the actual one. And my sister had gone and like scratched out what it was, and she put like Yellow Card and like Fifi Dobson, and like she renamed them. So yeah, they didn't want me to listen to it anymore. They thought it was making me into like a bad human being or whatever.
Wow.
They had their biases.
Wow.
But I found a way. I still listen to it.
That's crazy. Yeah, I can relate to that, being censored to some music, but it wasn't too crazy.
Right.
So I guess tying into that, do you believe that young people should be censored from inappropriate music, like especially today?
In my opinion, it shouldn't matter. You should be able to listen to whatever you want at whatever age. But if you're a good enough parent and you notice or are worried about something, you just check in with your kid, make sure you're spending the right time with them, giving them the right love. You know what I mean? Being the right parent, make sure they're not doing anything they're not supposed to be doing, then it shouldn't matter. But it's more so the kids that don't have the family or whatever, if they might, and not to blame the music, they'll probably do it regardless, but they might be drawn more to it. So no, I don't think they should be censored from it, but I know a lot of kids don't have someone to censor or to check in on them.
Yeah.
But I guess my answer will be no.
Okay.
Freedom of choice.
Are there things that you do or practice to feel comfortable performing authentically with confidence?
Yeah, I'll put a beat on loop and I'll do the same song over and over and over and over again until my neighbors get mad. Short but sweet answer there.
Okay. What about getting irritated with your own song?
That doesn't usually well, okay, if I can't get the verse down, if it's a difficult verse, then yeah, I do get irritated.
Okay.
And then I'll just I'll shift, and I'll either work on something else or I'll put on just music and call it and work on it later. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. So you said around at the age 9, right? You were starting to like get into music more. What age did you actually write your first song?
I wrote my first rhymes when I was right at that age.
Okay.
And it was just like rhymes on a paper, just rhyming stuff and doing word plays. But I didn't put them together. I just wrote them. I didn't rap them out loud. I just wrote them. The first time I actually wrote a song was probably a song more like with guitar.
Okay.
I don't think I even rapped it. It was like an attempt to sing.
Okay.
I know I wrote some like cheesy love songs in high school for like to go to prom or whatever, some stuff like that. And then probably my first actual rap song that I wrote, I think I was probably around 18, 19, 20.
Oh, wow.
But that was sporadic. That was the whole Trip Red and Blue thing. And some of it we never released or never finished.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really cool though. So in writing, is writing in Spanish more difficult or English?
You know, in certain ways, it's more difficult, and in certain ways, it's not. It's more difficult because my vocabulary in English is way better. So I'll need to possibly look up words, or I'll get stuck on a rhyme more easily. But in other ways, Spanish is a Romance language, so it rhymes naturally.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times you just say a sentence and the whole thing flows and rhymes perfectly.
It has like a natural rhythm.
Exactly. It's very rhythmic. It's very syllabolic. So it really depends. But I like the challenge. And a lot of people tell me that they like my Spanish flow better than my English flow. So, but then sometimes I'll go to people and I'm like, they'll say, oh, you sound really good in Spanish. I'm like, dude, yeah, I know. Some people tell me my Spanish flow is better. They're like, no, your English flow is better, but you pull off Spanish. So I don't know. It's
I think I like both.
Opinion.
But it's more exciting when you rap in Spanish, just because I guess it's not so common, at least in our area.
Right.
So it's like pretty exciting to hear.
Yeah.
But
it's cool
also,
to do
you're
both.
like a white dude
right.
in Spanish.
Throw people off a little bit.
So it's definitely like super cool to watch and listen to. So where do you see your music headed in the next 5 years?
I see it becoming a lot more technically better. I listen to some of my old stuff now, right? And at the time I was like, oh, this is ill, but now I listen to it and I'm like, oh, it could be way better. So it's a constant improvement, and I'm constantly like kicking myself, and like I'm my own biggest critic, you know what I mean? I'm my own biggest fan though too. So just getting better technically. I want to become a better producer. It's hard for me to find time to really do that sometimes, and I get frustrated a little bit sometimes. I hate like watching tutorials and stuff like that. Yeah. I'd rather just be like, oh, I'm a free artist and I just write my lyrics, or that's my passion. My passion is writing and like rapping. But I think it would benefit me a lot to become a better producer.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, you'll be like triple threat.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so do you find it easy to co-write with other artists?
Usually, yes. It actually inspires me more sometimes. I don't know if that's like a competitive thing or if it's like just more fun, because usually I'm just like by myself writing and like reciting over and over by myself. So it's always fun to get people involved. I don't find it more difficult, at least not yet. I haven't had anyone that I've worked with that has been a horrible experience or anything. So yeah, definitely want to do more of that.
That's good. You know how to choose them, that's why.
Exactly.
If
you gotta be careful.
You can't say yes to everyone who wants to collaborate. Okay, so in the writing process, how long does it take you to write?
So it depends on the song. But if I sit down and I have days off,
mm-hmm.
I can probably write a song, the hook, in like 2 or 3 verses in 2 days, 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
But then to get it down takes another 2 or 3 days. And then to feel really good, another maybe day. So I'd say a week minimum.
Okay.
For a whole track.
Okay.
But if we're talking like one verse, like I've had times where I wrote a verse in 30 minutes, an hour. I don't know if it's my best verse or not.
Yeah.
That's debatable, but it just depends on the track. Sometimes I'll write it and it's good. That's how I want it. I don't even touch it. Sometimes I'll go back, scribble it out, rewrite it.
Yeah.
Depends on how precise or how where I want it to be.
Okay, I can feel that.
Yeah.
This is like an extra question, but what's the fastest you've ever written a full song?
Any kind of genre?
Yeah, just a full song.
Like 2 hours.
Okay. What genre was it?
One was like rap trap, and another one was like my metal experimental track.
Okay.
Those are 2 that I think of off the top of my head.
Was that the one you showed me?
Yeah, Azazel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is another question that's kind of like in the same realm of the writing process. It says, are you more creative sober or under the influence?
You know, there's a saying, it says write sober, it says write under the influence and edit sober. And a lot of times I'll do something like that. I wouldn't say I'm more creative either way.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just gonna create a different pathway. The song's just gonna be different.
Yeah.
Under the influence can mean many things, right?
Yeah.
So it depends on the song too. Sometimes if we're doing something trippy, I might want to have more of that effect. If I'm trying to be like real serious and like heart to heart, I might want to be sober.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm writing about something that's difficult to talk about, I might want to drink.
Yeah, I feel
In moderation.
that. So you don't get like super wasted when you're writing?
Nothing crazy. I'm under control.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think this is the last question from your fans. It says, do you remember the first time music touched you or called to your soul?
Yeah, I would say it would be the song with Eminem and Aerosmith, Sing for the Moment. I remember listening to it when I was a kid, like right at the end where it's like, that's why we sing for these kids who don't have a thing except for a dream and a fucking rap magazine, who post pin-up pictures on their walls all day long.
Yeah.
Idolize their favorite rappers in all their songs. Or for anybody who's ever been through shit in their lives, till they sit and they cry at night, wishing they died, till they throw on a rap record and they sit and they vibe with nothing to do but wear the fucking shit in their eyes. That's why we seize the moment, try to freeze it and own it, squeeze it and hold it, cause we consider these minutes golden. And maybe they'll admit it when we're gone. Just let our spirits live on through our lyrics that you hear in our songs. So that one, like when I was a kid, I used to get chills every time I would listen to it.
I used to cry with that one.
Yeah.
I remember just throwing that shit on and just like hella being in a mood. I'm just like, damn, this song speaks.
Right.
Like, it speaks volumes. Yeah, that one's crazy. Those are all the questions from your fans, and I wrote a few questions of my own to kind of pick your brain about. Some of them were already answered, so I'll try to sift through them.
Okay.
So, this one's kind of similar to where you see yourself in 5 years, but I want to know, like, where do you hope that your music will take you? Whether it's like a physical place or a spiritual place.
Spiritually, just more healing, you know. Music has always been an outlet and a way to mentally recuperate from life. So continuing that. And also I want to collaborate with really creative people, because I think that's how like flowing of the ideas, like who knows what concept that hasn't been created yet that will be created in that time. And lastly, I would say I want to perform a lot more.
Okay, I feel that. A lot more in the United States, or do you want to travel more?
Definitely want to start traveling. I'll probably start traveling again in 2022.
Okay.
For longer term.
Okay.
But I might be doing a little bit of traveling coming up soon also.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is one thing about you that your fans don't know? That you
There's a lot
share?
that my fans
that you want to share.
Maybe that, you know, some days it's difficult to continue. There's a lot of pressure, or people wanting to critique you, or people talk shit, or like say some stupid shit. And like I said, I'm my biggest critic. So when someone comes in and it's like, oh, like your music sucks or something, I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, I know, I feel that.
So yeah, just that you guys matter and it's appreciated. Actually, I appreciate the negative stuff too.
When it's helpful, constructive feedback.
even if it's not, I still accept it. I'm not mad because it makes you stronger too.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna happen. People are people.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. So in that of like the feedback and stuff, is there anything like super specific about you as an artist or your music that you want to spend more time on improving?
I would say, first off, producing and mixing on that side of it. And then I want to get a lot more tighter with like syllables and things like that. Sometimes I can be a little loose on the beat. So try to like tighten up, and I just want to continue making creative music, whatever that means.
Okay. And then my final question, you kind of brushed a little bit past it, so I'm glad that nobody asked it. What is your favorite part of the music creation process?
I love the part where if you're creating a project where everything is starting to actually tie together and you can kind of see it and where it's heading. The beginning of the process for me, I like it too, but there's so many different possibilities of things you could do that it's like almost overwhelming.
Okay.
So you start recording a little here and there. But once things start coming together, you start making, going to the studio to record, having the mixes, starting to work on the artwork, and having a final product. I'd say that's my favorite part of the process.
So like the middle?
Middle end, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The 70% mark, maybe.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's all my questions I have for you as well as the fans. You have any last words you want to say?
Just thank you all for listening. Thank you for supporting. Thank you 1AM for taking the time. Your music's hella dope, and I hope to collaborate with you in the future and keep going.
Definitely. We have a show October 22nd.
October 22nd at Level Uproar in downtown San Jose. Come through. You'll be able to see myself and 1AM as well as some of our good friends and really talented artists performing there. So come through, support.
With that, thank you guys for watching. It's 1AM Somewhere, also known as 1AM. This is Metazul. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Peace.